Welcome back, everybody, to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Camryn and Justus Woods.
Welcome back to another episode.
Let's talk about your jersey. What is
and
this?
my green pants, apparently.
Yeah, guys, if you're watching us online, like his pants are green.
These are not green.
They look green.
They're literally cream. I can pull them up right now. I can actually.
No, don't do it right now. I just need to prove a point that you're wearing light green, like lime green pants
What are these?
with
Lululemon?
forest green jersey. And I don't.
What type of fabric is this?
What?
Like sweat?
I don't work there. I don't know.
Shorts for men.
This is just going to take forever, and the people don't have patience for that.
No, these are aloe. Dang it. Lulu gray.
Gray? You think they're gray? No shot that they're gray.
These are not the ones. Okay, whatever.
Anyways, why are you wearing that? They lost last night.
I still support the Jets, even though we have had trouble. But
you have had trouble. Justice is trying to make me into a Jets fan. I would say it's going pretty well. Like, I care when they play.
She always says that she's a Cowboys fan now that we live in Dallas. And my response to her is always name 3 players on the team.
Dak Prescott. Number 3, Whitehead.
That's
the Jets.
The Jets.
Dang it. Okay, sorry.
See, you can name 3 Jets players right now, probably.
Okay, Jack Wilson.
Dang it. Zach Wilson. Okay, we're gonna move on from this conversation before we start getting like hate mail from people.
Guys, I promise I know a lot about football. I'm just not the best at I guess naming players.
Jack Wilson.
Anyways, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Whether this is your first time listening or your 17, 16? What number are we on?
17 or 18, I believe.
Whatever episode. Thank you for listening to this one today. Yeah. We have a very exciting topic, which is...
So today's topic will cover something that I feel like either people think it or they ask us this question a lot, but it's essentially, why did we get married so young?
Because for a little bit of a backstory, I don't know if you know us or not, or whether you've been listening or not, you may or may not know that Justus and I dated since 2017?
Junior year of high school, which was 2017.
2017. Yeah. And we dated long distance for 5 years, the 4 throughout school. He was in California, I was in Alabama. And then last year when we were engaged. So I was in Charlotte, he was in Dallas. And people... whatever. If they know us, they understand why we got married, and we'll get into that later. But a lot of people are kind of like, you guys are 23 years old. Like, why on earth did you feel the need to get married? You're so young. You don't need to do that. Like, you need to live your 20s. All those excuses. There's so many excuses.
Yeah. But to give you all a little bit of a backstory and just for us to reminisce a little bit, we're going to be talking through some important milestones of what led up to that. So, like the ring buying process, the
that wasn't me, that was
engagement process, some highlights from the wedding. But yeah, so we hopefully you guys will enjoy this. But so where should we start? Should we start at the ring?
Well, let's talk about when did we know we wanted to marry one another?
The first day I met you.
You have okay.
When I dated your best friend.
I was about to say, you did not want to. We were really friends.
Yeah, you were too cool. You were too cool for me.
Stop. No, I was not.
She wouldn't talk to me. For those of you who don't know, I tried to when snap streaks like became a thing. I tried to start a snap streak with this girl.
What was that, beginning of junior year? Or
beginning
sophomore?
Of junior year.
Maybe summer leading into junior year?
Yeah, summer leading into junior year. I kept on trying to start a snap streak, and you need to get 3 days. And
I was like, why is this weird boy?
Every day on the third time, like the third day where we would like, we're about to get the number, she just never would respond.
I'm sorry. You will never let me live that down.
No.
Ever.
I will never let you live that down. And but who's laughing now?
Exactly. Look at us. We're married.
Exactly.
Okay. So when did you actually know that you wanted to marry me?
So I think that's kind of a 2-part question of there was a time when I knew that I could see myself marrying you.
Yeah.
So that was probably end of senior year of high school.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, I could see myself marrying you. When I actually knew, like, okay, I'm definitely going to marry this girl was probably sophomore year of college.
It's funny that we're married and it like still gives me butterflies, and I still want to ask you like a million questions of like what happened that day. No, not that. Of like, it just gives me butterflies that you like knew you wanted to marry me. I don't know.
Yeah. Even though I did. I was like, I was thinking, because the whole thing was, I told you that I loved you senior year of.
Can I tell that story?
Sure, you can tell the story.
It was so cute, guys. Okay, so Justice had picked me up, and there was a fair in like Matthews, North Carolina, which is close to where we live. And so he picked me up in his Dodge Charger that he had at the time. Of course, came to the door like a gentleman, rang the doorbell. Like I walked out. We've been dating for 3 months, and I get into his car, and there's this letter in his seat, in my seat, a letter in his seat, my seat. Gosh, why did I say that again? And it said Cam with a little heart, and then. Did I read the letter?
Or you read the letter on top.
On the Ferris wheel.
Okay,
so Justice was like, bring it with you to the fair. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, is he proposing? No, I'm kidding.
I'm proposing our senior year of high school.
Then we got on the little Ferris wheel because those are my favorite. And we just like stopped at the top. And he was like, now's a good time to read the letter. And that was after your coach called at the top of the Ferris wheel.
My coach had called me and I had to talk to him when I was on top of the Ferris wheel.
Dude, I'm about to tell this girl that I love her. No, I'm kidding. Yep. But it was a really sweet letter. Anyways, yes, you told me that you loved me then, and I said it back.
But I didn't really know 100% that, like, okay, like, we're going to get married until sophomore year. But up to that point, I had started saving for, like, a ring a little bit until...
When did you start saving?
Probably senior year of high school? Senior, yeah, about senior year of high school. You never told me that. Senior year of high school, freshman year of college, I would say. But wait, let me back up. Let me ask you, though.
Oh, my gosh.
When did you know that you wanted to marry me?
You've asked me this before, and I literally don't know. I think that it got to the point kind of in junior year, senior year of high school. I lived every single day with you. Well, I didn't live with you, obviously. But, like, we were together almost every single day. And I was just like, wow, I really hope we work out during college because he's the best. I have no idea what college is going to look like, but I'm really hopeful because, like, I knew your character.
Yeah.
I know college can, like, make people crazy, like, make people into different people than who they were in high school. And so I was definitely, like, guarded in that sense of, like, okay, like, maybe he's going to change, maybe I'm going to change, but I know we're going to communicate the whole time. So I feel like once we kind of went through our freshman year and we had a couple rough patches, it was our first time doing long distance. And I feel like after that, I knew, I was like, okay, we got through this.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry this man. And I just hope that college keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then it just got to a point where I was like, okay, if I either marry this guy or it's going to be the worst heartbreak of my life. So I'm glad it wasn't that. I'm glad that I married you instead.
No, I'm very glad that you said yes as well.
Yes. So, and of course, when we had talked about engagement and stuff, like you knew I wasn't going to say no to you.
I hope not.
We had talked about it before.
No, yeah, we had talked about it.
So you started saving for the ring young.
So I started, and I didn't really know. I knew in the back of my mind that was going to be, like I said before, it was either the ring that I buy for you or just money that I have saved for myself if we ended up breaking up. So
wow.
I had saved that for a while, and I didn't have a job in high school, but college, obviously I played football, but we got a stipend. And with your stipend, with a scholarship, all scholarship players get a stipend, and it's supposed to be for like books and like extra stuff. I mean, now if you're NIL money, I could have been making like 300K, 500K or whatever. But
here's my
ring. Back when we only had stipends, I used to save up a portion of that and then like use the other to live my life. But I would save each one, and we get them every quarter. Stanford's on the quarter system, so 4 quarters, 4 stipends. So I'd save some of that. And then in the off season, and then when I stopped my last season at Stanford, my senior year, I'd started working at the Stanford Rec Center. So I would work there, I would pick up shifts there to work the front desk at the gym.
Every time I talked to Justice, he was working. And I was like, why are you working so much?
Yeah. So it was to pay for the ring.
I didn't know that you used some of the stipend money, because also with that stipend money, Justice would use to fly me out or to fly himself out. So I don't know how you had any left over.
I had,
because we also use that money for like when we ate, gas, things to go do things like Carmel by the Sea. Like
I didn't do much when you weren't there.
That's really sad, but it paid off.
I didn't do much when you were there, but
you were committed. Like you knew what you wanted and you were committed to getting it.
No, I did. And we had, for context, we had gone ring shopping how many times?
Okay, so you and I went as a joke in California.
We went sophomore year as a joke.
I was like,
to some random place.
They knew we were chumps.
Yeah.
They're like, what are these people doing in here?
Yeah. And they were like, yeah. So that didn't really count, but we did go for the first time with your mom junior year?
Yes.
Summer of junior year. Sometime when I was back at home, we went.
Yeah.
And we looked at rings
because I wanted to see like what I liked. I wanted my mom to be there in case she needed help.
The first ring that the lady brought out was like $65,000.
No, it was 74.
Yeah, well,
I'll never forget it.
And I was like,
it's a beautiful ring. But
it's so nice. And we flip it over and it's 74,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well.
Sweet Justice is like sneaking a peek
at
how much there, because you didn't know. Like, you definitely didn't know how to like gauge how much a ring was.
Because I had saved up a portion up to that point, but like I didn't know how much I had left to save.
Right.
But we went that one time with your mom, but then we went one final time with just us.
Yeah, it was so fun. We got the champagne.
We got the Wait, no.
Yeah. Junior year. Yeah. We were 21.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm just going crazy. Yes, we were 21.
So then I knew at that point, you said you knew what type of like cut you wanted. You wanted the oval. You knew what like you knew what color, gold or whatever you wanted the band to be. So I had an idea.
I told you I wanted an oval ring, oval diamond with a gold band.
Yeah.
But I definitely prefaced, give me some credit of saying like, I definitely prefaced, I'm not expecting an insane ring.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you to spend thousands of dollars. Because honestly, I didn't think you had much money. Because we spent it all during college, honestly. And so I was like, oh, I'm really not expecting anything. Like, the fact that you would even ask me to be your wife with anything is more than enough for me. But I definitely did say that I preferred a real diamond over like a lab grown or whatever that jewel is that looks like a diamond.
The one that doesn't.
Yeah. And so I was like, as long, like if you could give me a diamond, and even if it was teeny, I would still be like, oh my gosh, overjoyed. Because you got me a diamond, and that's like a first diamond I have.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. But you blew that out of the water. So.
So I had an idea of what she wanted, and I had a rough price range based upon the last time that we went. So I was like, okay, I've had about a year left to save. So it kind of, that timing kind of timed up when I was thinking about proposing. So by the time it hit December of our senior year of college, I had finally saved up enough money. And I did what any sensible guy would do who's 22 years old or 22 years old, about to propose to his girlfriend. And I brought my mom I brought my mom to the diamond store, because honestly, there's so much stuff, so much crap that like the cut, clarity, color, all that stuff that like I did not know how to answer. My mom was a really big help there of like helping me to understand.
Thanks, Belinda. Yeah. She killed it. No,
helping me to understand those things. So I went with her.
Yeah.
And so I bought the ring there. And I know that it's funny because I feel like you're always telling me stories about people at your school and stuff, and I guess it's just like a Southern thing about these dudes have like being able to buy a ring like when they're 21 years old, and it's like some crazy like
I know I shouldn't say
$40,000 or $50,000 ring, and it's like, how the heck do you afford that? Because I saved since senior year of high school.
Babe, you worked so hard and it paid off. I know I shouldn't say this, but like through the grapevine, I don't know anyone personally, but because we're, Auburn is a very Southern school, ring by spring was what a lot of people did. But now it's ring by junior year. It's crazy. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah. We're young, but we're not that young.
Immature, like sophomore, junior year. I don't know. It's crazy. But I do know that and I'm not judging them, but to answer your question, I do know some situations where the guy would ask the girl's dad, and then the girl's dad would offer to pay for the ring. So that's to answer your question. Like, how are girls?
That's probably the only way. Unless you have like a real good job in college that pays a lot,
right? But or like an athlete, or like
you're an athlete or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But I do know situations like that. It wasn't often, but I agree with you. It's like, oh my gosh, like that ring had to have been $100K. Like, how did you afford that being so young? So it's crazy. But no, you worked really hard, and everything like that, and you guys killed it. And I genuinely was so shocked when I saw the ring. Like on the engagement, everyone's like, right, did you know? Whatever, we'll get into that.
Well,
but I was like, wow,
the ring. Of the engagement.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about the engagement?
So one thing I don't even know where to start with the engagement, because there's one thing I have to say, because everyone thinks I knew, and I have to defend myself. But we'll lead up to the engagement.
We'll see if she knew at the end of this story. So
what do you mean? Oh, they're going to decide if I knew?
We'll see. We'll see if she knew. I'll tell you what I did for the engagement, and then
we'll make a poll on Instagram.
We'll make a poll or something, and you all can tell me if Camryn actually knew what was going on. Okay. So when was it? So this was December.
Yeah, you brought your mom.
I had brought my mom to buy the ring, and I got it customized, so it was going to take like 4 or 5 months to get it done. So I knew in that time I had to start planning. So I planned.
In December, you started.
I started, December. I started planning because at that point I was like, I have the ring. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I knew that I I mean, of course I knew that I wanted to marry you because I got the ring, but I was like, well, how do I do this? I want it to be like a spectacular thing or whatever.
And we definitely talked about it before of like, when do you want to get engaged and what do you want engagement to look like? Because, every girl talks with their girlfriends of this is what I want my ring to look like and this is what I want engagement to look like. So either through the grapevine you knew or because you knew me, you knew that like, I would love if someone could take pictures, but I don't want to see them. I would love for it to be in a private place. Yeah. Laugh out loud.
Because I think I was asking you questions and stuff and probing stuff to like about engagement to try to gauge like what you would want in an engagement, which I think it turned out pretty well. But anyway,
it was perfect.
So I had this idea of taking her to there's this place called the McGill Rose Garden in Charlotte, and we had never been to. I was looking up places in Charlotte to propose. Not that many places. I looked up literally like the first search was top places to propose in Charlotte. So I went through like a bunch of stuff and I found the McGill Rose Garden, which has like, it's just really like nice, like outdoor back garden. It's a wine and coffee bar. It's like a wine and coffee bar, really but then it's also an outdoor garden.
And they do weddings there.
Yeah, they do small weddings there. So I was like, this is a really, really cool place. So this is where I want to propose. Like, how do I get Camryn here without her knowing? So I'd come up with the idea of doing a date. And it's funny because I don't know if you remember this, but remember I would take you out on dates like every time we were together, like months leading up before then, but I wouldn't tell you what we were doing.
Oh, that's the thing. That's also why I didn't know, because I'm like, you would do this all the time. You would take me on surprise dates all the time because California was always so fun. Like in Auburn, you would never surprise me with a date because there's nothing to do. And so it was always like, okay, like I'm coming to California this weekend. Okay, we're packed for this, but you don't know what we're doing.
Because that one time you came to Napa with your school, and then we spent the weekend there. And I like drove out there after you'd finished your school trip, and we went to like the winery and stuff there. Me. Because didn't you say that you thought that I was going to propose? No, then?
One of my friends, Miriam, and I were like dreaming about it because we were both dating our guys for a really long time. And we were like, Miriam was the one probing, like, what if he proposed? And I was like, why is she saying that? Like, she's actually like making good points of like, he could propose. And I'm like, girl, I know for a fact my family is not coming type of thing. So I was like, it's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, I was trying to probe that, like, have to make her not suspect that I was going to do something crazy for this date. So a couple of times before that, I hadn't told her what we were doing for our date. So I was like, okay, I'll do another date. So I said, I asked Ashton, your sister, like, what are some good places to go to dinner? Some really nice places around the area. Yeah. And it was the Goodyear House. The Goodyear House.
I've always wanted to go there. They do these igloos outside during Christmas time. And I was like, oh, it's so fun. But yeah, I'd always wanted to go there.
Yep. So the plan was go to dinner, pick you up, go to dinner, take you to Goodyear House and be like, oh, like I found this really cool wine garden place that we can go to afterwards. So,
cause you know me, if you say anything with wine, like
exactly.
I'll be there.
So that was the plan to take you there right afterwards.
But you didn't tell me that. You just said, I have a nice date planned out for us that night.
I have a nice date planned out for us. So it was kind of like a step by step, but backing up to the process of this, I think it was when I'd first like come up with this idea, the first two people I told were Bryn and Olivia, Camryn's two best friends.
Oh.
Because I knew that they would help me the most.
Was this before you talked to my dad?
This was before I talked to your dad.
Okay.
So they knew because I already had.
That's bold, Justus.
I had to start getting the planning going.
Bold. I'm just kidding. Of course,
I had to start getting the planning going because I wanted to come to your dad and to your mom with an idea.
That makes sense.
What, and I could talk about that in a second.
Because you
of
also
what it was
knew, my parents, and you know that they were going to give you your blessing. Like you would know my parents so well. It wasn't going to be like an outlandish ask of like my parents not expecting you to ask them.
Yeah. But I could talk about that in a second of what that was like. But
so you told Bryn and Olivia.
I told Bryn and Olivia because they were going to help me plan because in the background of that, the third layer of that engagement was that I wanted to get all of your friends from Auburn, my friends from Stanford, and like all of our Charlotte friends involved for a party afterwards that we would bring you to. So somehow I managed to like work with Olivia. She was like my
your Auburn girl.
Yeah, my Auburn girl that I would communicate with basically. And she told, even though I called all of your friends individually and told them that I was going to propose to you, everyone who was going. So I'd called.
When did you do that when I wasn't with them?
Olivia told me because you were always with Olivia, so she always told me like,
that's
okay, Brooklyn's free, like Madison's free, like whatever. So I called every one of them. I told them I was proposing, but Olivia basically planned everything out with, like everybody, transportation and all that, and kind of got that all going. And somehow you did not know any of this, which is crazy. But
how would I have known?
I don't know. Like maybe you were seeing?
Okay, one thing that we always do is we're always, Brooklyn and I and like our roommates, Anna, Laura, and Olivia, we would always screen share TikToks on our big screen, like our big screen TV downstairs.
And you'd see like a message from me pop up.
I'm actually not surprised, or I'm very surprised that like it wasn't a group message with all of my friends and not me, or like you texting.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't create a group message.
Oh.
I didn't create a group message.
That's
so
smart.
I knew.
I would have freaked.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have known the second. I would have been like, why are they leaving me out? And then
so
oh my gosh.
The 3 layers were the Goodyear house for the date, then going to the wine garden, and then also bringing you back to your house for the party. So I had to manage all of that while trying to, you know, like figure out everybody's stuff with like my guys from Stanford coming in, where are they going to stay?
And I gave you the idea for that. I literally love this story. I want to tell it from my own perspective, but I know your perspective is more interesting.
Which one of?
Like, I want to tell like the whole version of the story, but you got it. You're doing such a good job.
Okay.
I just love like hearing what you did and then me being like, oh my gosh, like I realized that at this point, or like it made sense that happened because this happened in the past. So like getting your friends there from Stanford, you have been telling me a couple months before April, we got engaged April 15th. And he had told me a couple months before April, he was like, I want Cam and Dylan to come and visit. Yeah. And I was like, well, me being selfish, I want to see them too. Yeah. So why don't they come Easter weekend? Because we got engaged Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I was like, we're not getting engaged because none of my friends will be able to be there. And you know that I would want to see my friends. Yeah. Not necessarily that day, but like the next day or something. But getting your friends out there, I handed you that. Like, how were you going to do it if I didn't give you the idea?
I was going to propose that. You just kind of read it, but I was going to suggest it anyway because like I was going to be like, I'm only home for Easter. Like, this is the only time that they can come. So it worked out very well. I actually didn't plan that. I had told them that I was proposing to you, but I did not expect them to come because like asking them to come all the way back to Charlotte just for the engagement process. Like, I didn't think they want you, but they were like, dude, like, of course we're coming. Like, we're definitely going to be there. So sweet. I was like, oh, that's not something that I planned for, but like, this is awesome. Like, I have to plan this out to see like when their flights are land. I have to come up with a reason why they're going to be coming to Charlotte. And that's why I was like, kind of think like, oh, like they want to come visit and they want to see you. That's why they want to come to during Easter because they want to see us when we're both there and stuff. So, it worked out. It worked out well, but I think so leading up. So I had all this idea planned. I'm starting to plan it out with your friends. Somehow you don't know, which is funny because you literally like track all of your friends. So I don't know.
Okay, I have like a problem. When I'm bored, I go and find my friends.
She's one of those people who treats Find My Friends as social media as like scrolling through TikTok or something.
Not anymore, but I really did for a long time.
Very long time.
I just like not even from oh my gosh, they're hanging out with mommy, but like, oh my gosh, Brooklyn's home. Well, I should know she lives with me. Oh my gosh, Madison's home. I'm going to go over to her house right now.
It even got to the point where Olivia and I were talking about downloading this like sketchy app that like changes your... Oh, they
My friends did because they were all home. Sketchy app
that like puts you in a different location and stuff. So
yeah, it was so ratchet.
So we figured that all out. But I was planning all this fast forwarding to when like as the ring was getting prepared, the ring finally done. So I was like, okay, this is February.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. This is the time where I have to ask Camryn's dad.
Because you were going to bring the ring.
Because I was going to bring the ring. Yeah. I had the idea. Like, this was a very early stage. I started actually actioning the idea, like, after this, because, like, your mom was a really big help in, like, Ashton and Jordan, like, helping them. Because, like, before I had an idea that I was going to go to dinner, but I didn't know it was going to be Goodyear House. And Ashton was the one who recommended that. So I had, like, the framework of everything. Like, the people who needed to know. And then after February is kind of when it went over the hump. But leading up to asking your parents, that was a crazy time because I knew it was going to be in February. I don't know what my excuse was to come home in February to you because I remember me telling you that like, oh, I'm coming home in February. And for some reason you couldn't. And I was like, yes, this is the perfect time for me to come home
without Camryn.
Because she won't be there and I can do what I need to do because I need to pick up the ring. I need to talk to her family and like, she can't be involved. And then
I think I had like an exam.
Yeah.
At 4 p.m. because remember my wine class was at 4 p.m. on Fridays. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Like I shouldn't come home. So I'll come home Saturday morning. But I remember I drove in so late because there was some like attraction. I always wanted to go home. Like always. I loved Auburn so much. But if there was any excuse to go home, I was going to take it. Yeah. So I was like, oh, perfect. My long distance boyfriend is going to be home. Why wouldn't I drive home?
Yeah. But then...
So silly you for thinking that I wouldn't.
So then I think it was like the week before you texted me and you're like, oh, yes, I can come home. And I was like, crap. Like, it's literally all ruined. So that
I'm
was
the
that was
worst.
a wild story because I had to, my flight landed and she was about probably an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
So I was like, my mom picked me up. I was like, okay, you're going to hate me, but like, we have to do this stuff fast. Like we have to go now. So
did your mom pick you up and get the ring?
She picked me up. We drove straight to the store to get the ring.
And then straight to my house?
Not straight to your house. We drove straight back to my house so I could change because I wanted to like wear something more appropriate.
Aww.
So I put on like something. And
I remember exactly what you were wearing. You were wearing the plaid button-up shirt that's yellow and black, and the black pants.
Yeah.
Because you opened the door, and I'm like, "What the heck are you doing here?"
Well, now you just ruined
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay.
You ruined the surprise.
It just gets me so excited.
But
so
I got dressed.
Yeah.
I went to your house.
Yeah.
And it was funny because like I had texted your dad before, and like if I text your like any person, like your daughter's boyfriend texts you like after years of dating, be like, "Can we talk?" Like
you said, "Can we talk?"
No, I didn't. I said more than that.
I was like,
I said, "Are you free?" Like I'll be home, whatever. I have something really important to talk to you about. I don't remember.
Pull it up.
No, I'm not pulling up. I'm not pulling up the text message.
Okay.
I asked if we could talk like when I get there and Friday night. So, and that's why I think we had to change it too, because that's when you said that you were coming home, because I was supposed to come on Saturday.
Were you going to go to dinner or were you just going to go over to my house?
I was going to go over to your house.
Okay.
But nice. I think it was originally on Saturday. We had to change it to Friday night. And I was like, okay, well, like, yeah, this is great. So I get there and like, I'm very nervous, and I walk in and like your mom and your dad are there. And I'm just like, so who do I talk to? So do I talk to both of you? Do I talk to...
Or just like man to man?
Yeah, do I talk to... And then or we just agreed like I can just talk to your dad?
My mom was so sad. She said that she was standing on the other side. She was standing in the other room like as close as she could to listen to the conversation.
Really?
But she understood. She was like, I do understand the man to man.
When I came back in there, she was on watching TV. I was like, I know you're not watching TV. Like you would definitely
She was probably muted
yeah.
when you guys weren't talking.
But I couldn't even tell you what the conversation was.
You said you blacked out.
It's interesting because I feel like we've had a little bit of different dynamic where like we started dating when we were 17. So like I was like a kid. Yeah. And your dad has known me since I was a kid, and now it's like 5-6 years later.
But it's really cool because he's seen your character grow.
Exactly.
And like he knows the way that I talk about you. He knows your heart.
But it's hard because I don't know what else I would say that I haven't already like told him or like demonstrated by like being with you for this. So like I can't say exactly what I said, but it was like something along the lines like reassuring of like how much that I love you, and that like
you're gonna make me cry.
Okay, I don't want to make you. I'll skip that part.
You can make me cry. It's okay.
But basically, like I don't know, just like reassuring and stuff, and saying how much of a gift from God that you are to me, and how you have made me grow as a person, and I wanna like spend the rest of my life with you. Spend the rest of my life with you.
It's so sweet.
And like I showed them the ring, and he was like very, very impressed. And then we, it was a good conversation. But the funny thing was that he after I told him. And he was like, "Welcome to the family" and stuff. And he was like, "You have to show Christy the ring." So like,
what'd she do?
I walked in.
What'd she do?
And she was like, "How did it go?" Like the first thing I did, I just like opened up the ring and showed her, and she screamed. Like she screamed. It was the funniest, sweetest thing ever. Like she screamed.
She's so cute.
Yeah, we hugged and everything, and it was a great experience. No, I wasn't crying.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, okay.
Was my mom crying?
I don't remember.
No, she's probably so ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
But
so then what were you like doing with my fam after you had asked? You were hanging with them?
I was telling them the whole logistics of what my plan was, because they were like, "Do you have a plan?" And that's partly why I didn't want to just be like, "I don't know, I have a plan."
Right.
I wanted to have a plan, so I was like, "Okay, this is what I'm planning to do. I want to take her out to dinner, then want to go to the wine garden, and then and then have like a party afterwards with all of our friends."
Yeah.
And I didn't know where the party was going to be afterwards. It's your mom's like, "We could just do it at our house." And I was like, amazing. It's perfect. So it all fell into place. And then that's when I checked my phone. And it was funny because I was talking to your mom, and I was like, I don't know how I'm doing this right now, because this is the point where we were texting like all the time. And I was like, and if I didn't respond, I was literally telling her, I'm surprised that Camryn hasn't called me yet or hasn't texted me. Why aren't you responding to me or something? So I looked at my phone and I had like 2 missed calls from you. Text was like, why aren't you responding? Or like,
okay, you're making me sound psycho.
Or no, it wasn't. Why are you responding? It's that I turned off my location, before I left to go to your house. And I was like, I'm surprised that Camryn did not notice that my location's off. I hope she doesn't because she's driving. But I turned it on and I checked my phone and you're like, why is your location turned off?
I'm the worst.
And I'm like, you're literally driving.
I'm literally the worst. Because I want to see where you are because I'm like, I want to see him. I'm so excited.
But then you were like 10 minutes away. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know if I have time to like get everything and go because like what happens if I get in the car?
Your plan was to leave and go back to your house?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
My plan was to leave.
Okay, then tell the story so I can tell my part.
Yeah, so my plan was to leave and I was like, by the time I get in the car and go and everything, like we could literally be passing each other in the neighborhood. And that wouldn't be good. So I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So your family and I came with the idea of basically saying that like we're here to like surprise. I came here early to surprise you for dinner and stuff like that. So I literally stayed there. And then when you walked in, I was just like, surprise.
I remember that because you were dressed nice. And I was like, why? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But in my brain, the whole time I had told Justus, hey, bud, love you so much. Don't know if you have a plan for engagement. Because it wasn't like, oh, this is the ring I want. You're proposing in 2 months. I'm so excited. We're going to be married by 2023. Like that was never a conversation that we had. It was like, oh, I would love a fall wedding. Oh, I would love this. I would love that. Whatever. So I had also told you though, for a fact, do not propose to me while I'm still in school. I had my reasons. I just didn't want it. I didn't want to be the, ring by spring, whatever. And so I was like, I guarantee, like, we are not, because it's the one rule that I had for you. Looking back, am I upset? No, not at all, because I was surprised. So I think my fear would have been like, oh, he's going to propose over every trip we did over the summer, or like anything that we would do, I would know that you were going to propose. So it was very wise because it was April, so we were almost graduated.
It was literally like 3 or 4 weeks before you graduated. So I was like, it was the only time that I felt like it was really that I could do it. But yeah. So
you asked my dad. And that went well. Obviously, we had a great weekend. It was fun. So let's fast forward to the engagement weekend.
Oh, brother, that was a trip. So I had planned everything, as I'd mentioned before. So now it's time to execute the plan. So for those of you who don't know, I graduated Stanford early. I graduated in March. So I came home end of March, which is funny because so I had figured out that I was moving to Dallas for work. The fall. So I was like, I've never been to Dallas before. I need to visit there. So I actually went with Camryn and her mom to Dallas
had the ring
in
and
March. Yes, I already had the ring.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to go to Dallas and I was like, Camryn, like, do you and your mom want to come with me? And I feel like you were kind of sketched up because it's like, we're not living together and it's like, why would I choose the apartment?
I remember being sketched.
Like, why would I go with you to pick out your apartment? Like, I'm not going to move here. But I would always go with
you because I support you and I want to I want to be a part of decisions.
But I made it, and it's like, I don't know if you get this. I hinted at so many times of like what she liked and what she wanted into like a place so many times during that trip because I was like, this is literally ultimately the place that we're going to be living at together.
But I also knew that you were coming here in the fall and I knew I wasn't going to be here with you in the fall. So there was also a rush if you needed an apartment. Yeah. But it was fun. I do remember telling my mom because we shared a suite and like my mom and I were obviously together and I was like, Mom, I don't know. This feels weird because we're not engaged. Like I'm committing to a state with a guy that I'm not engaged to. It was different than that because
she already knew.
I know. She was like, well, don't worry about it. I was like, Mom, what? No, but she was the best. Yeah. She kept her cool. And I'm shocked that I didn't know because of my mom because my mom and I are the same person.
Yeah, you are.
Also Madison.
It took, I don't know. It took, I don't know, the grace of God that nobody slipped up once.
I'm always on my mom's phone.
All your friends from Charlotte and from Auburn knew that we were going to get engaged.
Yeah, that's madness.
And none of them told you, which is why I was shocked.
Incredible friends.
But we had planned all that. It was crazy. So there was this one time though that there was a scare that almost did happen. Oh my
gosh, this was horrible.
So this was after I had booked the McGill Rose Garden because you have to do bookings for some reason if you want to do photography.
Oh.
And so my photographer was Bryn's sister, McCall
Bennett Photography.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Very, very good. So I had the photographer planned out and everything. Her and Bryn were going to like hide and like do the pictures and we weren't going to know just how you wanted it to be. So I had to book it through the McGill Rose Garden. I got the confirmation email and Camryn texted me like literally like the week leading up to it or like you told me.
This is literally a joke.
And you're like, I don't know what's happening, but like my computer keeps logging into your Gmail.
Like it kept logging out of mine and logging into yours.
It kept logging out and logging in. And I was like, that's so weird. Like, let me just check my Gmail. I look at my Gmail. The first message was confirmation, McGill Rose Garden, engagement. What is it? April 7th or whatever. April 15th.
That literally has to be a joke.
2023. And I was like, it was the first one.
Okay, so that's like his main point for me thinking that I knew.
And I was like, how could she not have seen that? It was literally the first thing.
So you want to know what I saw? Because I have a photographic memory.
Yeah.
So I'm like hitting the Gmail button, and out pops this outlandish, horrid red color that you had your orange color that you had your Gmail as. And I was like, ew, hate this. Oh, this is Justus's account. Go out.
Oh, well, the orange saved me.
You literally have emails. You have like 8,000 emails. So I was like, your Gmail just stresses me out anyway. So I was like, get me out of here as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And I genuinely didn't see it. If I would have seen it though, honestly, I don't know who I would have gone to, because they would have told you.
Yeah.
I would have told someone. I would have told Madison and been like, don't tell anyone.
Well, luckily it didn't happen. So,
but it was a scare for sure.
Yeah. And so basically after we got through all the scares and stuff, so it was the day of, and
so this was a Friday.
Good Friday.
So Good Friday, you had told me, because Dylan and Cam are going to come in town, I can only see you Friday.
Exactly.
I was like, that's fine. We have Easter on Sunday, so it's perfectly fine. Like, I'm totally fine with that. So I was like, okay, this is exciting. It's the one day that I get to see Justus, so I want to like dress up really pretty and like look really nice.
Because I picked Dylan and Cam up the night before, and we went out Thursday night and everything. And
you little liar.
But Friday, yeah. So I picked you up. I said I don't know. I don't remember what I told you to wear. So I was like, wear something nice.
What do I need to wear?
Yeah. I
asked you, what do I need to wear? And you just said something nice, maybe a dress, maybe jeans. If you would have said you need to be dressed nice in heels in a dress, 100% I would have known.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, this is really funny. I got my nails done a couple days before with my friend Laura and my friend Olivia. And I was with them, and it was Easter Sunday, and I don't do pink nails. I don't do white nails. So I'm like, okay, this is so fun. I love Easter Sunday. It's like pastel colors. I'm going to either get green or purple. Okay. I loved the green, and Laura straight up goes, in the kindest way possible, she goes, Camryn, I hate that color. I was like, fine. I'm not going to take it to heart. I'm just going to roll with it.
Purple is better than green.
Y'all, I had purple nails.
It's better than knowing.
Do you guys think I knew? Because if I knew, I really don't think I would have purple nails.
Well, maybe now you can choose your nail color more wisely.
And the nail guy, why? We're already married.
True. There's no more surprises.
I got doo-doo brown on my fingers right now, so we're good. But the guy, I remember, cut my ring finger. I'll never forget that. He cut my ring finger. Because I remember Laura saw it, and she was like, oh my gosh, he just cut your ring finger. And I was like, yeah, it really hurt. Anyways, that's besides the point. But yeah, so I had purple nails.
But I picked you up. We were both dressed nice. We went to Goodyear House. We ordered.
Oh, my mom was like, I got this dress for you when I went to the beach. My mom. Okay, another reason I didn't know. My mom was at the beach with all her girlfriends the weekend before we got engaged. My mom would never.
That's probably good. She probably couldn't.
Yeah, but my mom would never. You know what I mean? But she bought me this cute dress, and it's like not normal, but it's not abnormal for my mom to buy me a thing when she goes on vacation. So I was like, this is so sweet of her. Like, not necessarily my style, but like perfect for Easter. So I was like, I'm either going to wear this Easter Sunday or on my day with Justus. She was like, wear whatever you want. She was so calm and collected. Like, I really think that she was going to be the one to give it away just because I know her. But she was like, you don't have to wear. Like, I just got it for you. And of course I was like, well, it's really pretty. Like, thank you so much for getting it for me. It's like, I'll wear it. And I wore it, and I had purple nails.
Yeah, but you look amazing.
Thanks, honey. I felt pretty. I did feel really pretty. I was like, okay, like I did my makeup cute. My mom, I remember coming downstairs, and my mom was like, are you going to put on eyeliner? And I was like, no. She was like, okay.
You should probably do that.
I didn't wear eyeliner. And my mom's not like the type of person who's like, you have to wear makeup to look pretty, whatever, at all. But it was just cute because she wanted me to look she knew that I would want to. Exactly. And she knew that I'd want to like feel my best and look my best. But I was like, no, it's just a day with Justus. And then I forgot all my rings. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I forgot every single ring. And you're like, do you want to turn around? And I was like, should I be drama and turn around? Like, it's literally just a date. So I was like, no, or did we? We did.
We did turn around.
We did turn around. And that's when Olivia and Peyton were at the same intersection as us in front of my house.
Because the moment, behind the scenes, as I'm bringing her through this, Olivia and Peyton and all of her friends are coming in to redecorate from your lake to redecorate the house to make it for the party. So I had a set time to get Camryn out of there, and she's like, I forgot my rings. And I was like, oh my gosh.
And
like,
it was weird because you were like, I actually need to get you an hour earlier if that's okay. Like, they moved my
because the
reservation.
the timing all changed. So I had to basically, I had to kill time. So we actually did not go to Goodyear House first.
No.
We went to some like park, and we walked in a circle around the park.
So let me be real with you guys for a second. this is the moment that I was like, okay, I'm at a park in platform heels. Where's the photographer? Where's the engagement set up? Like, I really was like, I'm getting engaged right now. I know I am. I was literally looking for McCall when we walked to the pond. I was like, I was walking in dirt.
Yeah.
So I was like, the only way he's putting me through this is for an engagement.
Well, I'm glad that psyched you out.
I was looking for McCall. Didn't see her. And then we got back to the car and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not getting engaged today. Yeah. I truly thought that was going to be the engagement. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my nails are purple.
Yeah. I'm glad that all worked out then.
It did work out. So then after that, we went to, and I remember saying to you, I was like, why'd you take me to this park? Like, this was kind of weird.
Because they needed to get there earlier to set up this stuff.
My mom was
I
like,
had to pick you up earlier.
The house. But yeah, that was really fun. And then at
go to your house
dinner, we both got a drink. And like, you're not a big drinker anyways. So like,
I barely ate or drank like anything that time.
Not eating
my stomach was like so turning. You said I felt and looked calm though.
You were calm. Your hands weren't sweaty or anything. Like, we had good conversation. It was very normal. Yeah. Then I drank your drink. So I was like, fine, you're going to pay for it. I'm going to drink it. And that was all good. And then we went to the McGill Rose Garden.
So I was like, I know this place that's really cool that I saw like a couple of days ago when I was here. So I really want to take you to it. So I brought you there. And
in the car, I had forgotten my wallet. We were walking in and I was like, Justus, it's a wine bar. I need to get my wallet because I was 21 and I wanted to drink. And you were kind of walking kind of fast. Mm-hmm. I remember I took a selfie and you were like in your car doing something. And I was like,
I had taken the ring out of my side like car thing and put it in my pocket.
Wow. I thought you just dropped your Aquaphor because that happens a lot.
No.
But I like took a selfie, whatever. And then halfway into the walk, because it was kind of a walk.
Yeah.
Because you parked far because your family and my family were
there.
We're
parked in the normal parking. They're waiting in their car and they saw us like walking in and they knew because they were going to wait and see.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, Justus, wait, I need my wallet. And you were like in front of me holding my hand, walking really fast. And you were like, it's a coffee bar too, just get coffee. And I was like, what do you mean? We were walking in the door actually at this point. So right when we walked past the wine bar, I was like, okay, something's wrong. The second we walked past it, I was like, wait, you just said that I could get at least a coffee because I forgot my ID.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's acting weird. You like sprinted through the bar. I was like, whoa. And then I saw these flowers like under this arch and these girls were in front of it taking a picture. I was like, that's so cute. And then you literally like say, excuse me, and you go through the girls. I was like, that was so rude, Justus. And then I saw the flowers.
So for context, I had gotten McCall to take the flowers that I had bought. I bought you roses.
They were beautiful.
With it, I had a card because I always written you letters. So I had written you a letter.
Yeah,
so
that's something that we always did when we were dating. We wrote letters.
So I wrote you a letter. I got you flowers and then I left it I gave it to McCall to put on the bench. So we were walking through there and I see all these people looking at it and like going to it. I'm like, somebody's going to touch it. Somebody's going to grab it. Somebody's going to move it. And then I grab you, like we walk outside and then I grab you and start going. And then you're like, oh, those people are taking a picture. I was like, no, whatever.
I like stopped to let them take the picture and you were like, excuse me. And I was like, Justus, that was so rude. And then I
went through and then,
Then I still didn't like realize it. I guess I kind of knew something was off, but I thought you were just like professing your love to me because I told you to not propose to me until after I graduated college.
So,
but then obviously I saw the flowers and we were just like looking at the flowers and I was like, oh my gosh.
And then I had the letter with your name on it and I read you the letter.
Yes. You had turned me into the position of being proposed.
Yes, I turned you in the position that I needed you for the picture.
Yeah.
And then I read you the letter.
Yes.
And then I proposed to you.
And it was beautiful. And I think I blacked out. For sure blacked out. And the best part about it was I was like, I know once Justus proposes to me, it's going to be the most intimate setting. Like, there's going to be no one around. Y'all, we're going to post the video the day before this releases. It was a public proposal.
Everyone started cheering.
It was a public proposal.
Granted, I did not think that many people went to the Rose Garden. Like when I visited there a couple of times, it was very empty.
Well, it was a Friday afternoon.
It was a Friday afternoon. So
at like 4:00, I think.
Yeah.
So it was just like literally the best. I have the letter still. I don't remember word for word what you said, but I know there was a verse. I know you like listed out gifts and attributes that I had and like what you loved in me, why you wanted to marry me. And then I literally don't remember him asking, did you ask me to marry you? Because he showed me the ring and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, the generic picture of the girl being like, ah. No, I was genuinely like, oh my gosh. Like
I did. And then I held the ring and you're like, are you going to put it on me?
Yeah, because, okay, so then I like kiss you, whatever. Yeah. It's in the crappy video that I'll post, but I kiss you. And then I was just like jumping up and down because that's what I do and I'm excited. And I was like, wait, put the ring on me. So I took off all my other rings that we turned around to go get. And I throw them at Justus. I'm like, keep them safe. Like, I don't even want to wear them anymore. I literally don't wear those rings anymore. Yeah. I had 3 David German rings that I wore every single day of my life. I don't wear them anymore. I only wear my engagement ring and my wedding band. But it was just the best ever. And then McCall comes running out and Bryn comes running out. Yeah. And then you were like, FaceTime your family. I was just like, oh my gosh. And Brendan McCall gave us champagne. We take a couple pictures and it was the best. So then you're like, oh my gosh, Camryn, like you need to call your parents. And I was like, you're right. So I'm like on my phone and there's pictures of Ashton and my family like running up to us, which was super sweet. And then your family was there. My family was there. We were just hugging. I cried, because I cry when I'm happy and stuff. I'm just an emotional person.
I think having everyone there, like afterwards showing up, like you FaceTiming your mom and her like telling you to like turn around, you could them being there. And I think that was like one of the coolest moments for me. So then
it was literally like my best friend and her sister who I grew up with. They were also there, which meant a lot to me because they did so well about like letting me be with you and my family, but like still like supporting us from afar.
They wore disguises during the.
They didn't actually, did they?
I thought they did. They said that they were like.
They sent me a picture of them, obviously like later. What they were gonna wear. They were gonna wear wigs and like tuck their sweatshirts into the wigs. Because Bryn was like, if you saw me, you would know. And I was like, totally.
I'm surprised you didn't see it because when we were walking there, I saw McCall and Bryn like in the corner.
You said McCall was also right beside the door, so she could take pictures of us. I didn't see her because you were sprinting. So I was like, whoa, Nelly. Got to catch up with you.
I'm glad it all worked out. But what happened?
Perfect.
What happened afterwards?
Okay, so I'm dripping sweat, right? I'm a nervous sweater. Yeah. So I'm like exhausted, excited, all these things. We take a ton of pictures for like an hour and it was great. It was perfect. McCall captured the day perfectly. And then I was kind of like, okay, guys, like what's next? Like, can we go eat? I'm starving. And your mom, I distinctly remember your mom saying, yes, we have reservations at Steak 48. And that's like at the time, it was a new steak restaurant that had opened up in Charlotte. And I knew your parents would love that restaurant and my parents had never been. So I was like, perfect. I literally cannot wait. This is going to be perfect. And then someone had the idea of, but let's go home and change. Cause I was like, yes, I stink. Like I literally smell so bad. So I was like, perfect. So Justus and I drive up to the house and.
Well, you forgot that I said we needed to get gas first. You remember we stopped for gas? I
literally don't remember that now. No, I literally don't remember that.
Because I had to I had to let everybody else get there before we did. So
how'd you even time that up? Like how did you time up your gas being like kind of
I just didn't get gas that week until I knew.
That's so smart. Because I would have seen if your gas tank was full and been like, dude, no,
so I was like, and I'm surprised that you didn't.
That's when I sent one of my friends a picture or something. I don't remember.
I was hoping that you wouldn't get on your phone while I was getting gas, but I was like, she's probably going to try to call people. Hopefully they don't respond and like, hopefully you don't track them when they don't respond to you. But I was like, hey, like, I know this is bad timing, but I need to get gas. So I stopped at the gas station to let our parents and all of our friends like beat us home to get all set.
That's crazy.
Ironic enough, my dad missed it. He missed the surprise part of it because he was trying to find a parking spot and he already saw us like pulling up and he got there too late.
I want to cry.
But
I love your dad.
So we got there and we walked through the doors.
But I remember being in the car and I was like, Justus, I'm so happy that we're home because I smell so bad. Like y'all, I literally smelled horrible. Yes, I did. You should smell my dress. Well, I washed it, but it smelled horrible.
Okay, well.
Sorry, that's really gross. But yeah, we walk through the door and I see streamers. The way that my house is set up, and it's like you walk in through the side door. We never walk in through the front door. So you walk into the side door and it's like our little mudroom office. And then there's like a walkway to a bathroom. And then to the right, there is like the foyer area to the front door. To the left, there's the stairs to the basement. And straight is like the area to my kitchen. So I was like, oh, obviously going to go to the kitchen. And I saw streamers and I was like, my mom decorated for us. Like, of course she did. I knew she would. Like, just the sweetest ever. And so I'm like walking and I'm talking to Justus. Who knows what I'm saying to Justus? Yeah. But then I walk and I think at the same time that I saw everyone, someone like screamed or something.
Everyone said scream like surprise or.
But it literally scared the doo-doo out of me. Like I was so scared. But I also like knew in the moment what was happening and I just started like crying. All my friends come running up to me.
All your Auburn friends.
Like we all bombarded each other. And then like one of my grandmothers was able to make it and our mentors and really good friends Kyle and Nate who have been there with us for years were able to make it. Was literally everyone, like a lot of my second moms that live in Charlotte were able to be there and it was just like the most overwhelming emotion but best emotion I've ever felt. Ever. It was like I literally want to cry thinking about it. I look back at pictures from that day just like constantly and there were drinks everywhere and food and there was like a slideshow of us. There were banners of us that one of my friends Ashton made, and like
your mom and your family did all that. I had nothing. I had no idea what the party was going to be like. I just said I really need help doing this party, and your mom and like your mom Olivia, your sisters, they killed it.
And McCall was there. She took some pictures.
She took pictures.
It was, oh my gosh, it was literally second to the wedding, the best day of my life. Yeah. Like I loved it so much. Nothing could have gone better besides maybe me smelling good because that was just tragic.
You smell fine.
You're too tall. You can't smell me.
Okay, well.
But it was perfect, guys. It was perfect. And then everyone just hung out there like all night. And then later we went out with all of our friends.
Yeah.
Which was so fun.
But speaking of the wedding.
Yes.
I know this episode is longer than usual, so we can just give a high level
we're just excited.
view of the wedding. Because we're going to go into detail later on about like wedding do's and don'ts in a later episode. But
yes, tons to say.
What do you feel like how were you feeling the day of the wedding or like the day before leading up to the wedding? Were you nervous or were you excited?
Friday rehearsal dinner day, both of our bridal parties, we went to yoga that morning, which was
where do we have our wedding in the first? Should we tell people where we did our wedding or no?
Sure. We had the rehearsal dinner at a country club that my family's members at, and then we had the wedding at the Valentine Hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. It was great. Great venue. There was construction happening in the back, but that's besides the point. It's fine. Also, I'm dead. Look at how dark our video is now because of daylight savings.
I know.
RIP. Sorry, guys. But whatever. That's the reality, and we're not in a studio, so whatever. Sorry, I'm
kidding me? You're telling people that we... What?
Yeah. We're tricking you guys. We're tricking you guys.
We got the headphones and everything.
It's literally our living room. But so Friday was a great day. We'll go into details later, so I guess I won't give too much away. So Friday was just pure excitement, no nervousness. Because everything was done. I was so excited. And I was like, Friday night's going to be great because I get to see everyone and hang out. We had a welcome party as well. So I got to like see the people that were coming to the wedding and like hang out with them and talk to them and drink a couple drinks, eat really good food. And then like the speeches, we did those that night, which we'll get into details later. But I was just excited. I was just sitting with you. I was sitting with our family, talking to all my friends. Our photographer came. She was able to take some really good pictures. It was intimate time with our grandparents. And I just loved it. I loved it. And then coming home Friday night. Well, how did you feel Friday during the rehearsal dinner and everything?
I felt good. It didn't really hit me that it was happening.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like going through the motions a little bit of like,
very structured.
Very structured of like, I just more so focused on like, because I had all my friends visiting from like Stanford and stuff, like making sure the groomsmen got where they're supposed to be.
You were very worried about that. It made me sad because I was like, that's technically not your concern.
Because like at the time, my family was living in a townhome because everybody couldn't stay at my place, so they stayed at a hotel.
Right.
So I just had to go between like my place and like the hotel, like picking him up and stuff. So
it was a little stressful.
It was a little stressful at the time, but I was very excited. I will say though, I did not expect. I cried after the rehearsal dinner speeches.
What do you mean after?
At the rehearsal dinner
you
speeches.
Cried during them.
Like after.
Wait, what?
Like when my friends came up to me after the rehearsal dinner speeches.
You cried?
I told you that.
Like you were just like weeping in the corner?
Yeah.
Where was I?
You were talking to people.
Why were you crying?
I don't know. Just seeing I've never with guys and stuff. It's like there's very one off. There's only a couple instances in life with most guys that you like get to really hear genuine like thoughts of like how you have impacted somebody's life, and to hear that from like some of your best friends is like it's really impactful. So
that's really sweet. I think I do remember you telling me that. So yeah, rehearsal dinner night was great. I go home that night and I start to get nervous. I'm like, wow. I think the emotion of hitting me was just like, this is my last night at home. And like my life is changing forever now, but slept well. I think that I drugged myself, probably Benadryl, something. Slept, and then I woke up and it was a great last night at home. I got to drive to the hotel with my family and started getting ready. So I start getting ready. The girls all arrive like when they were told, whatever, we have breakfast. It's so fun. But that morning I do realize that like I'm really nervous. Not because you're not going to show up or something's going to go wrong. It was raining our wedding morning, but I didn't care. No. I was like, it's going to work itself out because we had a backup plan, but it was outside. But I was like, it doesn't matter. Like we're going to figure it out. Yeah. So I was calm in the sense of the wedding and like the way that it was going to go, which is funny because I've worked weddings and I know how wrong they can go. Yeah. But I was like, it's going to be fun. I think I was just really nervous about this huge milestone being completely shifted and it's never going to be the same after that. But I knew it was all good things. Yeah. So morning of the wedding, afternoon of the wedding, I'm like, this is really nerve wracking. But I start having fun with my friends. Like we start whatever. And then,
what about leading up to the wedding? Like, were you nervous walking down the aisle? Because like from my perspective, it just didn't feel real. Like I was perfectly fine. Honestly, I was fine walking down like by myself when I walked my grandma down. And then I walked down myself. Like it just didn't register to me. It honestly didn't register until like afterwards.
I agree with that. Like it didn't feel real. So I'm walking down the aisle and my veil's like getting stuck on the thing that I'm walking on. So that was stressing me out, but that was it. I think it was just like, oh my gosh, everyone's staring at me. This is insane. But no, it just felt right. And we'll get into really nitty gritty details of our wedding and ceremony, but like that ceremony, our officiant, my uncle, our uncle, who also we did premarital counseling with, like his words were truly straight from the Lord. And it was literally the best ceremony that I've obviously been a part of, but like ever heard. I was like, wow, I love everything he said. But I felt so much peace in that moment. Like all the fear that I had just kind of went away. And then I knew after the ceremony, I was like, okay, game on. Let's just have fun. Let's take pictures and let's eat and let's have a drink and let's just have fun. And we did the rest of the night. Yeah. It was so fun.
It was a great experience. And I wouldn't trade all that leading up, all those years of planning and doing everything leading up to that moment. I think it was definitely worth it. And I think, the whole purpose of this episode of the podcast was to talk about, why did we get married young, and to think about, and how did we make it work, and to think about, we did all that like ring planning. I did that when I was like 19 or 20. Like we did engagement planning at 21. We got married. You got married at 22. So it's like babies. We're so young, and looking back, and it's like I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I feel like there's especially now, I feel like people think that when you get married, a part of you dies, which is not completely true.
No,
it's not untrue, but they think that your life is over.
The fun's over.
Yes, you have more responsibility because now you're not two people anymore. It's you and another person with everything.
For sure. But
I feel like your life is just beginning with that person. And I feel like my life is just beginning with you. And I want you to be a part of all the big milestones in my life. I don't want to go through all the big milestones with you not there. And then come when I'm quote unquote, like in a good position to be like, okay, I'm ready to settle down. Like we change so much throughout our lives, even when we get older, that like, I want you to be a part of every single change in my life. And I feel like that was the main driver of me deciding I feel like we can get married young, is because honestly, we've been through so much together anyway. And I said this before, I'm not a big proponent of like getting married too quickly. I feel like everybody needs to go through like one hard moment or one big change.
Just to see how the other person reacts.
Yeah.
Like, are they the same person?
Are they the same
bad
person?
Under stress?
Because you don't know a person until like they're under stress, until you go through a transition. Do you work together? And I feel like for us, we had a big transition of going to college and doing long distance for 5 years, where we did become different people.
Like family stuff.
Exactly.
We had a lot of friends stuff. So we really had been through a lot. But I think that one thing I will say is we had a lot of people in our corner.
Yeah.
A lot. And so we're not sitting here saying, hey, you're young like us, go get married, go do it. No, absolutely not. I think that the only reason we were able to do it is because the Lord's at the center of our relationship. We had people in our corner. We had Christian counsel. We have our heads on straight-ish. We're more mature than like your average 21-year-old at the time.
And not to say that we have like everything together, but I feel like we have. Not at all. We didn't go into this blindly. I didn't. I know for a fact. If everyone knows me, Camryn knows. Like I do not just go into things blindly. No. I have to have a plan. So like, I knew the first thing I was like, I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know where I'm living. I need to know what I'm doing. You need to have some sort of like stability before you get married. I would 100% agree. But
like we're not like broke and I don't know. We'll find a job later. And like for some people,
that works. But maybe. I feel like there's just a level of, especially as a man, to responsibility to take care of you. I feel like that's not, it's just not right. It's not smart to do that. So yes, you don't have to have everything figured out, and yes, you continue to grow, but you have to start with some sort of stability. And I feel like that we had that, and we are just continuing to grow. And I don't know, I feel like that when you get married, like the mission that God has put you on individually, that mission comes together. And I feel like, the Bible talks about when two or more are gathered, he'll show up in the midst of it. And I feel like, when two people working together is a lot stronger than one person. So I feel like if anything, if you both are after the same goal and both pursuing the same thing, you can achieve goals much quicker and much faster. And I feel like even doing this podcast, like I didn't have to, like this was something we brought things out of each other that we didn't normally do, and we're supporting each other in everything. So I would not trade this for the world.
No, I agree. So obviously I don't regret getting married young. It has been so fun. I think that one of the best things is like why we got married young, just logistical reasons also, is we were long distance and we were ready to live together and we weren't going to do that prior to marriage. Yeah. there's like a lot of boundaries that we didn't cross in the sense of like our money was separated before we got married. We didn't live together before we got married. Your things were not necessarily my things before we got married. And so we just felt like it was the right time. Like we said, we had good counsel. It was a good season of life to transition, and we'd seen others do it too. So we weren't like this crazy outcast of getting married freshman year of college and that sort of stuff. But no, I have no regrets absolutely of getting married young. It's just incredible to be able to have the gift of marriage right now in this season, because we're living life together. Like you said, we're just starting. And like all of these things that we've done in Dallas already, or traveled to all these places, it's like not doing it without you, or doing it without you would have been just completely different than doing it with you as my husband. So wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah. It's been great.
Well, thank you guys so much for walking along this journey of reminiscing. It was fun for us, definitely.
I hope it makes you guys as excited as it makes me, because I literally get so giddy talking about it. But
it was cool going back, thinking about how we were feeling back then, and seeing how, just reflecting on it, because it wasn't that long ago.
No, it really wasn't. And just as a man, like seeing how you handled everything, like calling my friends, that was really important. Talking to my parents, that was really important. Just like you took initiative. And I think that is so attractive and so responsible of you to do. And so I think it's really cool that you got to share that with other people too. Hopefully you can encourage some people. Just who knows?
Hopefully. We'll see.
Who knows? Well, thank you guys so much for listening. As always, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.